Well guys, we made it, we're here. It's the last day of the season. I'm on a tributary of the Warwickshire Avon. I just got down here after work. It's getting on for 5:30 now. We've probably got maybe 45 minutes of light left, something like that. Couldn't get the day off today, unfortunately. A bit concerned as well that the river would get down to a fishable level. As you can probably see behind me, it's very coloured. There's maybe 2 or 3 inches of visibility, something like that. That's all. And it's about, I don't know, 15-20 centimetres above normal. I don't have very much experience of this. I've only fished this place once before about 2 years ago, and then I actually fished here on Friday, which I'll go into in a minute. But I fancied coming in here for the last session of the season because it kind of grabbed me on Friday when I got here. I really enjoyed it, and also, to be honest with you, the Avon is pretty unfishable at the moment. It's really up still, but this has run off a lot quicker, so that's the other reason. Just putting the picture, it's as you can see, it's not very wide river at all. After fishing with Mark in the last video, I really enjoyed that, and I thought perhaps I'd come to my own local small river venue. So here I am. As I say, I came on Friday. Well, good afternoon guys. Today is the 9th of March. It's Friday afternoon. I have finished work for the week, and it's also my birthday, so happy birthday to me. What I'm doing this afternoon is something a little bit different. You could probably see in the background. Feeling a bit inspired from the last trip where I went to visit Mark Erdwin, and I'm really feeling a little bit inspired to have a go at smaller rivers. As you can see behind me here, this one's pretty small. Now this one is available on one of my club tickets. However, I've only ever fished it once before, maybe 2 seasons ago, something like that, when the Avon was pretty unfishable because it was up so high. Obviously this was up so high as well. This is a tributary of the Avon. And me and Anastasia came for the afternoon. We caught a few gudgeon and stuff, but nothing really to write home about. Although I do hear a lot about how good it is for chub. So, as I say, feeling inspired from last week, so I thought I'd come down and have a go. So, I know very little about the place. And the only thing that's really stuck in my head from last time I fished here is how ridiculously deep it is. For a little tributary that's maybe 20 foot across, it's very deep. There's pegs further up there which one really stuck in my head. I remember plummeting it, and it was something, something ridiculous, like 15 foot deep, and the river's like 15 foot wide. It's crazy. It's not all like that. Obviously there's lots of different pegs. Now I've probably got about 3 hours. It's about 3 o'clock now. I'm going to go home about 6, half 6, something like that. Birthday tea. And I'm going to do a bit of roaming like we did last week. So we're probably going to be able to fish maybe 6 pegs, something like that. So what I'm going to do is just drop into really likely looking pegs, likely looking holding areas. I'm sort of really on the trail of chub, although if I caught some perch I'd be very happy as well. So that's the plan really. Baits I've got with me, I've got some maggots. Well, I'm not really planning on using those too much. Worms and cheese paste and the krill paste that we made in the kitchen. So that's the plan. The weather, it's drizzling. It's supposed to sort of drizzle and rain on and off all afternoon. and it is doing. So again, as I mentioned last week, if you hear any spots on the camera, I apologise, but got to keep the electrics covered up. So I've been here about 5 minutes now. I'm fishing on the inside of a bend across because sort of there's a snag over here. You can probably just see there. There's a snag here, and the water behind it is really slack on the far side, and it's outside of a bend. So I've sort of got a bait over there at the moment, downstream. At the moment I've got a worm on, but nothing's happened at all yet. I think I may need smelly baits today. As you can probably see in the background as well, it's sort of funny greeny with a tinge of brown to it. It's running off. It's been quite high, and it is running off. Been keeping an eye on it on the river level information on the internet, and it's definitely running off now and improving in clarity, but there's probably only maybe 3 or 4 inches of visibility. So I'm not going to bother with bread. I'm going to use, smelly baits. At the moment, as I say, I've got a worm on. It's not overly smelly, but I have nipped his tail off just to see if we can tempt anything. But as I say, very quiet at the moment. Absolutely nothing. Not a tap. Not anything. But I'm going to have a little cast around in here for now, and we'll give it maybe another 20 minutes, something like that. I'll up sticks. There's loads of pegs along here. It's all wooded on the one side. There's loads of snaggy areas and stuff, so it looks really good. And also they have quite a lot of matches down here, and you can sort of see where the pegs are marked out, where the match guys fish. So that sort of gives me a bit of a clue as to where the fish are, but only a little bit. You know, they're not always going to be productive, I guess. But anyway, I've got a feeder on at the moment because I don't want to be throwing bait in. I'm not sure how far upstream to throw it, you know, because I'm not sure quite how deep it is. So putting a little feeder on it and just get some actually the ground bait left over from last week. It's just it's liquidised bread with a handful of krill boilies that have been liquidised as well. It mixed in just to give it some smell, and we'll see how we get on anyway. Fingers crossed. Oh, we got something. Well, I had to go down there and net it. I managed to get his stump stuck in the edge, but it's a lovely plump roach. Well, it's not going to break any records, but it's the biggest roach I've caught for quite a while. That's fantastic. Chuffed a bit. Only a minute, 10 minutes. That's brilliant. Wow. That's absolutely brilliant. Right guys, swim number 4. We had that roach in that first swim. which is fantastic. I had another little knock in there after about another 10 minutes later, something like that, but then nothing else. The second swim I tried, again on worm. I had a couple of bites, half decent bites, but it did seem like it was sort of smaller fish bites. So I switched over then. I was fishing under a raft in the middle of the river. I switched over then. There was a big slack area on the inside, a little bit further downstream. So I put a worm in there for 5 or 10 minutes. Nothing happened. And then I dropped some krill paste in there. And once again, nothing happened. Gave it another 10 minutes. I moved a little bit further downstream then to a spot right in the middle of the trees. Big trees and hanging in the water, and trees coming out at funny angles and all sorts of stuff. And I dropped some paste in a likely looking spot there. And again, had a couple of little twitches, but nothing worth striking at. So I'll give that another 10 minutes, nothing happened. So we find ourselves in this swim now. You can probably see in the distance there, the river comes round, if I get out of the way, it comes right round this way. The flow is all chucked over on the far side over there, and on the inside here, sort of in here, there's a huge back eddy, it extends right up to there, and it looks like a real natural fish holding area. It looks where a lot of food would collect, natural food, we wash down and circle around in here. So I'm going to give this perhaps 20 minutes or so, something like that. Because it does look like a real natural, nice natural fish holding area, as I say. I've got some paste on at the moment, some krill paste. We'll try that 10 minutes or so. If nothing happens on that, I'll try a worm. As you can see as well, I'm sure it's raining reasonably hard. To be honest, that's why I'm not doing a lot of talking, because I know you're going to probably struggle to hear me over the sound of the pitter-patter of the microphone cover. Time is, I haven't got a clue actually, blimey, it's 5 o'clock, it's gone really quickly. I'm going to give it another hour, I think. I wonder why it seems to be going dark, and that would answer that question. I think sunset's 6 o'clock tonight, but it's very cloudy, so it's going to get dark pretty quickly, I think. But we'll give it to dusk anyway. I'm not going to fish too long after it gets dark, or once it's got dark, because, as I said, it's my birthday, so I've got things to do at home and I need to show my face. And if you're wondering as well about this thing on my head here, I found this hoodie's just too big, it keeps falling over my eyes. It hasn't got one of those nice buckles on it, so I had to do an elastic band and gathered a bit up there. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. Absolutely drenched, and my stuff's only just about dry now. It's Wednesday now, and I've come slightly downstream of where I fished last time, and just to try a few more swims really. As I say, I've got very little knowledge of the place, but as you can see, it's got some lovely features in it. I mean, look at this, it's beautiful. I'm fishing just downstream of it. I'm going to have to find the slacks today, as it is pushing through a little bit. I thought perhaps I'd spend 20 minutes, half an hour on maggots. I have made them a bit smelly, because obviously the water clarity is very low. So we need smelly baits today, I think. I'm going to give it a few minutes just of light, maybe half an hour with some maggots, perhaps try a worm, and if nothing's forthcoming, which I presume will be the case, then we'll go on to the krill paste and perhaps some cheese paste as well as the smelly baits. Anyway, I'm going to recast and we'll see what we can do. Well, we've had a bite. It's a good start. I'm going to have to keep my voice down a little because I'm fishing literally dropping it in the edge here. I've had a little knot then. It was small fish, I think, but you know, it was a little tap tap tap. It was like gudgeon or something, but maybe a roach, you know. I'm not going to complain. That's on the worm. To be honest, in these conditions on the last day of the season, I'd be happy to catch anything. Well guys, that's it, the end of the river season. It's about 8 o'clock now. Nothing's happened really. I had one little knock on the krill paste, a tiny little tap on the worm, didn't I? But apart from that, absolutely nothing. Apart from about 10 minutes ago, I was sat and I thought I'll just finish off with one last swim. I cast out, I sat there for maybe 5 minutes. There's a big splash in front of me, and as you've seen, the river is only 5 meters wide. There's a big splash halfway across the river. Blimey, what's that? And then I heard this funny barking, hissing noise. Put my head torch on. There's an otter staring at me, shouting at me, and I just thought, that's a hint, it's time to go home. But look, you know, I've had a fantastic season, absolutely fantastic season, can't moan at all. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to say to everybody who's subscribed, to everybody who's even watched a minute of one of my videos, if you've enjoyed it, then that's brilliant. That's the whole idea. It was just to share my fishing experiences with everybody. And as I say, I had an absolutely fantastic season. Couldn't have had a better season. An awful one last year, couldn't have had a better one this year. Finished off with a bit of a whimper and being shouted at by an otter, but you know, apart from that, fantastic. So, you know, on to the close season. As you'll know if you've seen any of the previous videos, I've got a ticket to fish the canal, so we can do that in the next 3 months. I've also just taken on another ticket which gives me access to some lakes, and there's a lake only maybe 10 minutes drive from my house, which is fairly low stock. It's got carp over 20 pound in there, but the main attraction for me was the tench. There's some decent sized tench in there. I do fancy doing some tenching. I was brought up as a young lad on tenching down at the gravel pits down near Cirencester, so I'm really looking forward to doing a bit of tenching. There's some big bream in there as well, so you may well see me there next time. I'm going to pick my ticket up this week. So once again, all there is left to say is thank you very much for watching, and thank you to you guys who've subscribed. I hope you've done a better job at the end of the season than me. To be honest with you, looking at the river, I'm sure it'll be much better tomorrow. However, that's called poaching, so we won't be doing that. So tight lines, enjoy your own angling, and I will see you again very soon on some water that's not moving.